What's up, ladies and gentlemen? This is your boy, Carl Dema, and this is Talking Oral Health Bar Talk, my new podcast. I'm just going to be talking about relevant topics to the culture, and today's episode is the first episode, and my first episode is going to be on vaping. So, what am I going to be talking about? Is vaping bad for your teeth? So, the article I'm going to be going through is by one Christine Frank, who medically reviewed the article, but the article was written by one Carly Vandergriendt. Vandergriendt. Sounds like Netherlands or some German. Do you guys know, is that German or from Netherlands? Carly Vandergriendt. Yeah. But anyway, this was written by Carly Vandergriendt and medically reviewed by Christine Frank, who is obviously a dentist. DDS, I think. Dental. Doctorate in dental science. I think that's what it is. Okay, let's get into this article. So, first of all, she talks about the different things that affect your gums with vaping. So, first of all, she mentions excess bacteria, dry mouth, inflamed gums, overall irritation, and cell death. So basically, with the excess bacteria, it says here that current research done in 2018 found that teeth had been exposed to e-cigarettes aerosol had more bacteria than if they hadn't. So basically, they're saying cigarettes bring upon more bacteria than a person who's not having or partaking in vaping. So as I've said in previous videos, bacteria causes the periodontal disease, which is the gum disease, when the bacteria goes underneath the gums and causes that gum disease. So the second thing she talks about is dry mouth, and it says that some of the base liquids, and particularly the propylene glycol, cause dry mouth. So, as I've said before, dry mouth leaves the body, more specifically the mouth, more susceptible. That's a difficult word. Susceptible. Okay, whatever. So it leaves your mouth more susceptible to these diseases, and with the more bacteria that the cigarette is already bringing into your mouth, you're at higher risk of getting gum disease than someone who's not vaping. So that's basically the first facet of if vaping is good or bad for you. So next thing is inflamed gums. One study in 2016 suggested that e-cigarettes triggers inflammatory responses in the gum disease. So it's basically linked to the bacteria and the dry mouth, as in the previous 2 points. So yeah, that makes sense. So the overall irritation. In 2014, a 2014 review reported that vaping can cause mouth and throat irritation. Gum symptoms may include tenderness, swelling, and redness. So basically it ties into the first 3 points. So I think basically what vaping causes is a drier mouth, which leaves your mouth more susceptible to bacteria, and with the susceptibility to the bacteria, you are at higher risk of getting oral irritation, which causes the inflammatory response in your mouth. Okay? So the next point she mentions is the cell death. So according to a 2018 review, studies of live cells from human gums suggest that vaping aerosols can increase inflammation and DNA damage. This can lead cells to lose their power to divide and grow, which can speed up cell aging and result in cell death. So basically this causes bone loss, and bone loss is one of the facets of periodontal disease. So if you have bone loss, And also it causes tooth loss. So the bone loss leads to the tooth loss. So with the bone loss, the bone levels go down and the attachment to the tooth is lost. And when we lose attachment to the tooth, that's when teeth start to fall out, and that's where periodontal disease comes in, which is basically your gum disease that I've said before. So basically it looks like vaping is bad for you in terms of the dry mouth. So probably the dry mouth is the main thing that could lead vaping to have bad oral effects in your mouth. So here I have another article. Let's just see who it is by. It is by Jun Ho Cho and edited by Jun Ho Cho, and it's a 2017 article by PLOS1 online, and it was published in July of 2017 basically. And the title, and it's a long title, the association between electronic cigarette use and self-reported oral symptoms, including cracked or broken teeth and tongue or inside cheek pain among adolescents. Okay, so basically the background that they've given here is that little is known about oral health related to electronic cigarettes use. Even though electronic cigarettes use is increasing rapidly, the aim of the study is to assess the relationship between EC, which is the electronic cigarettes use, and oral health, including gingival pain or bleeding, tongue and inside cheek pain, and cracked or broken teeth among adolescents, which is the youth, which is the target population of this podcast. So yeah, guys are special. So basically the conclusions that they had is that based on the results, the odds of cracked or broken teeth among daily e-cigarette users from 1 to 29 days in the past month and former e-cigarette users were significantly higher than those who have never used an electronic cigarette, which is your vaping pen. So the odds of tongue or inside cheek pain among daily EC vapors or users, why did I say EP vapors? Yeah, so basically the tongue pain and the cheek pain among the daily users of the e-cigarette were significantly higher than those among the EC that people who've never used electronic cigarettes. Okay, so in conclusion, the results suggest that daily electronic cigarette use among adolescents may cause risk factors for cracked or broken teeth and tongue and inside cheek pain. So from my review of these articles and what they've put forward, my conclusions on vaping and its oral effects on the mouth is that vaping causes a dry mouth environment. So with the dry mouth, you get susceptible to so many oral conditions, and as they've said here, one of those oral conditions is a cracked tooth and broken teeth, and you get pain in the cheeks, inside the cheeks and the tongue because of the dryness. You're more susceptible to cracking in your mouth. So I'm not talking about the teeth, but in your soft tissues, which is inside your cheek and on your tongue. So with the dry mouth, you start getting ulcers, you start getting cracking, you start getting that bleeding inside, and basically same goes for your teeth. So now that your teeth, there's a dryness in your mouth, so your teeth are not getting enough minerals because there's bacteria breaking down the enamel surface, and that leaves it more susceptible to cracking. So it leaves it with a weaker enamel surface, and that causes the cracked teeth and that causes the broken teeth. So basically the main risk factor you need to watch out for with vaping is that your teeth or your mouth, more accurately your mouth, becomes drier. So with the vaping, with the propyl glycol, the vaping causes dryness in your mouth, and which causes a number of oral side effects. So what you need to do is, if you are a vapor and you are for this vaping thing, and you're Mr. Vape, you're Mr. Cloud9 with swirling clouds and all that. I mean, we get it, you vape. What you need to do is make sure you get saliva stimulation after you vape. Make sure you have sugar-free gum, and yeah, watch my video on dry mouth and help you not. This will help you in the long run so that you don't get these oral side effects. So basically, my takeaway message from what I've gotten for these articles and for this podcast: if someone asks you, is vaping good for your mouth? It probably isn't, and it's most likely not good for your mouth. And they've said in these articles that there's not enough research that can really 100% confirm these findings. But I feel like the main thing that is causing the problems is most probably the dry mouth, which is caused by the propyl glycol. So basically, yeah. So guys, another thing I wanted to add is that if your e-cigarette has nicotine in it, it obviously leaves you more susceptible, because nicotine also causes things like more bacteria, and that's linked to smoking. So if you smoke tobacco, you are more susceptible to gum disease because of the bacterial accumulation and your dry mouth. Okay, so the basic thing I wanted to say is that e-cigarettes lead to dry mouth. Dry mouth leads to a number of oral side effects. Make sure you're hydrated. Make sure you take your saliva substitutes. Make sure you keep yourself hydrated, basically. Have sugar-free gum, stimulate the saliva. So that's it for me for the oral health bar talk. Join me next time as I talk about veganism. That should be interesting and not at all controversial. It's your boy Carl Demadema, and this is the Oral Health Bar. Just smile. Thanks.